In 1888, Oscar Davidsen began creating smørbrød masterpieces. Lots of delicious topping on very thin slices of bread. His restaurant is still booming and now run by his great-granddaughter. We're here in Copenhagen with Ida Davidsen, who is perhaps as iconic to Denmark as Hans Christian Andersen.
Right.
And today she's going to show us how to make one of her world-famous open-faced sandwiches.
Actually, we are going to make a Hans Christian Andersen.
Okay.
Yes, we butter the bread first.
Yeah, but the bread is always rye, dark rye bread.
It mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
If you have fish, we put some white bread on. I get you a plate.
Yeah.
You can put it on. And then we put some bacon on.
Yeah.
So. And after that, we put some liver pate on.
We put it across like that, so it looks...
Yeah, so it goes out of the bread, so it goes on both sides.
Yeah.
And then you have liver pate down, like that. And then we have some tomatoes. Here, I have 3 for you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And 3 for me. We put them on the side of the liver pate. All the ingredients here is something Hans Christian Andersen liked. Mm-hmm. It says in different books. So now we are on here bacon, liver pate, tomato.
Yeah.
And then we have shredded horseradish.
Mm-hmm. Liver pate, of course, is very Danish, isn't it?
Very Danish.
Yeah.
And then we have here, this is something very Danish. It's consommé à speak.
Uh-huh.
It's made with consommé.
Mm-hmm.
And he liked that very much. It's called sky in Danish.
She, yes.
Yeah. So we put that on the liver pate side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And then we have a little nice, between 2 fingers of chopped fresh parsley. Mm-hmm. There you have a Hans Christian Andersen, but there's many, many more open sandwiches, you know.
And there are stories behind almost every sandwich that you have.
Almost.
Yeah. What are some of the most popular ones?
Victor Borge, he was here every summer when he was still alive. And
he was the great pianist.
On vacation, and he always had 1 or 2 concerts. He came down every day for lunch, and he loved Danish fish. Raw salmon, fresh peeled shrimp,
yes,
crayfish tails, lumpfish caviar, and a little dill mayonnaise on side.
That was his favorite,
That was his favorite, and of course that was called his name.
So that remains now on the menu as a Victor Borge. And what are some of the other ones?
Another one was smoked salmon for the aquavit snaps called Aalborg.
Yep.
It was Aalborg's 150 years birthday. Mm-hmm. And then I made as a birthday present an open sandwich, mm-hmm, and that is with smoked salmon, mm-hmm, lumpfish caviar, mm-hmm, and salmon tartare. You take raw salmon and make it into a tartare with fresh spices. I put an eggshell with aquavit on top. So you pour that over as a dressing.
Nice, nice.
And it tastes fantastic,
I bet. And I bet they're very happy after they've eaten it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then some of the other ones?
Some of the other. Nils Jørgen Kaiser, he was the director of Tivoli Garden. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he wanted liver pate with bacon, lingonberry, parsley, fried mushroom.
And that's called a Kaiser sandwich.
Exactly. And then we had Princess Marie. Yep. She wanted smoked blue marlin with fresh asparagus and scrambled egg with truffles. And a little salmon caviar, and with marinated seaweed. So
that's a very exotic sandwich. Princess Marie had exotic taste.
Yes, she has. Of course, there's a Union Jack. That is a very good one. It's steak tartare with fresh peeled shrimp and an egg yolk in the middle. I know you like shrimp. I know that's your favorite.
In the world?
Yeah, absolutely. We will make you one.
Yeah.
And I think we should put the egg in the bottom, like that. And then you have some spicy mayonnaise. And then you take the shrimp. You have the head and the tail the same way. And you go all the way down, and they go the head the same way and the tail the same way. And then we have a little dill, so it has to stand up.
And what is this sandwich called? Or this?
Egg and shrimp.
It's quite funny because most people, when they think of sandwiches, they think of a lot of bread. Here, the bread completely disappears.
It's a law to be a pantry chef. You're not supposed to see the bread.
Really?
If you see the bread, it's a sort of cheap hand ones, like a saffron.
Yes.
You just put down.
Yeah.
When it's very well done as this, it's not supposed to see the bread.
So it's a generous portion of toppings. Yeah. And much healthier as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a bit like eating art. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much. We like it. My favorite is new potato. of course, you boil them first.
Yeah.
And you cut them in slices. And put them on dark bread.
Yeah.
And then we have some chives here.
Yeah.
And you just pour that over like that. There
So this is pork fat.
pork fat with onion and apples. Now it's really tasty. Hops. Yeah. And then of course you have to have a beer and an aquavit with it.
That's good.
Isn't it? Real good.
And this is the simplest and the cheapest ingredients and the most delicious.
It is.
I understand why you call it your favorite.
Yes, it is my favorite.
Smørbrød is a tasty slice of Scandinavian food culture. Try it and you may never go back to the ordinary sandwich.